This is SportsCenter.
A winner on Thursday, Marcus Vick on his past problems and why the future is so shiny bright. Eli Manning has the G-Men offense singing how New York's second-year QB is finding success. Plus,
a ground ball past Jenks up the middle of the infield. Uribe has it. He throws. Out! Out! A White Sox winner and a world championship. The White Sox have won the World Series, and they're mobbing each other on the field.
it was the last out, and there was celebration for the Sox, but who has the game ball? We investigate on SportsCenter.
Those Hokies so tough to beat on a Thursday night, and they've got number 5 doing his thing. Second quarter, BC a surprising lead. They hand it off to the dangerous wideout, Eddie Royal. He's too quick to the corner, and Virginia Tech back on top, 13-7. They don't look back. Later in the quarter, Vick, so efficient. A career-high throwing in this one, and he hits Josh Morgan. It's all Virginia Tech. That's my baby. They don't look back in the second half. The Hokies get a touchdown, a non-offensive touchdown for the 100th time under Frank Beamer. 12-1 they are on Thursday nights. Last week, Mike Tirico and Kirk Herbstreit, they saw Virginia Tech win in College Park, and Vick was doing it on the ground. This time he's doing it through the air. Fellas, how good is this Virginia Tech outfit?
Darn good. Won by 19 on the road, 20 against a better team at home. More from Herbie in a second. First live to the field, and Aaron Andrews. Aaron?
All right, guys, joined right now by Frank Beamer, and we'll hear shortly from Daryl Tapp. Coach, these kind of games are statement games. What did Virginia Tech, what kind of statement did you make tonight?
Well, we missed a couple opportunities, but I'm telling you this, I'm proud of this football team. Our defense kind of took it over there at the end against a good football team. At Boston College, no, they're tough. They're good. They're well coached. We beat a good football team and kind of took it over at the end, and I think that's a confidence builder. You mentioned the defense, but the offense is what got it going. Marcus, I know, very disappointed in the mistakes he did last week versus Maryland. What kind of changes, what adjustments did he make this week? He made some big first down runs for us and some big first down throws for us. And we caught a couple of balls that weren't exactly perfect, but our receivers caught them. I thought it was some really good things to draw from in this football game. And again, we beat a good football team. You certainly did. Thanks, Coach. Congratulations. Over to Daryl Tapp. 2 sacks for you and a forced fumble. You had told me yesterday this BC offense is one of the best that you'd faced this season, but how were you able to manhandle them so well?
We was able to put them in some bad situations and capitalize on them. Honestly, great team, a lot of potential, but we just had our night tonight. And last week when we talked to you versus Maryland, you guys had said both the offense and the defense feed off of each other so much. How much did that play into tonight? Played a lot. You know, those guys on offense are working hard, and when they mess up or slip up, you got to have their back and vice versa. You know, it's a team concept, and you got to believe it wholeheartedly. Well, great job by you. Thank you. Mike, back up to you.
Aaron, thank you. I'll start with what Aaron started with Frank Beamer. Number 5, Marcus Vick. Obviously, 55 was the defensive guy, and 5 was the offensive MVP. He's the one who you come into the tent to see, and he put on a circus-like performance.
Well, again, we saw him tonight finally be able to settle in and go up against a good opponent and make some great decisions. And you could see it very early in this game that he was going to have that kind of night. He ended up 22 of 28, but he was effective in everything he did, whether it was checking to a run, rolling around, throwing the football from different spots in the pocket, showing his athletic ability at times. He was just in command tonight and much more in sync, I think, for a guy who last week struggled throwing the football. And the thing that I noticed, and the reason I felt he was going to have a big night, is he was throwing the ball on time. He was getting back and getting rid of the football, and that's something that last week we did not see. So he found his rhythm early, and he was able to run and throw very effectively.
He was 22 of 28, spread it out to 7 different receivers, ran it, made decisions on third down. Their conversion was over 50%. As Frank Beamer said, the only thing they didn't do was execute better in the red zone. You might not get as many chances against Miami. That's the next game in 9 days here on ESPN. Now, the bigger picture. You've seen Texas in person within the last week and seen Virginia Tech on both sides on Thursdays. Who's the better team?
Well, you know, I'll say this. I think Virginia Tech has a better defense because of their front 7. I think they're more athletic, and I think their linebackers are exceptional. I think on the back end, the secondary, it's a toss-up. Overall, I would say Virginia Tech has a better defense. Texas right now has proven more. They went to Columbus and took on Ohio State, and they won that game. The jury for me is still out on Virginia Tech. This is the best team they have played at home. Next week against Miami in this same stadium, Saturday night, we're going to find out a lot more about Marcus Vick. We're going to find out a lot more about Virginia Tech to find out how good they really are against a very athletic and nasty Miami team.
Nothing has changed course to being in position where we were last year, where it becomes like figure skating, where the judges have to decide which is the better performance to see who will be the gold medal and the silver medal performers. Right. It's the shame of the sport, but it's part of the reality and part of the conversation all the way along. Tonight, Scott, +20, Virginia Tech wins 30-10 at home to remain unbeaten. Back to you and Stu in the studio.
All right, fellas, travel safely to your next destination. Virginia Tech could become this year's Auburn. They could end up trying to, as Mike Tirico just said, sort of impress the judges. And you compare the road that each has the rest of the way, and it might favor Virginia Tech because they get a chance to play a number 6 ranked team in Miami that Kirk just talked about. Meanwhile, Texas doesn't play a ranked team. They might not play a ranked team in the Big 12 title game, whereas Virginia Tech could face, theoretically, a ranked Florida State team. So still a lot to be sorted out as it relates to 2 and 3 in the BCS as we speak.
Staying with Virginia Tech, you know, we always think the word legacy conjures up good thoughts, that royal bloodlines mean an easy ticket. Unless you actually walk in those shoes, only then can you empathize, visualize, realize the depth of pressure associated with playing the same position at the same school your big brother did. Your NFL Pro Bowl big brother. Your big brother whose 5 career 100-yard rushing games were the most ever by a quarterback in NFL history. Your big brother who you turned to when you ran afoul of the criminal justice system. Joe Shad on being Marcus Vick.
Once the chants were tame, like you're no Michael or you're adopted. Now they're just plain mean.
They said I was a pedophile or something like that, but you know, when I hear those things, I'm thinking, hey, I'm just about to take this, everything you're saying about me, I'm gonna take it out on your team.
But last year, Marcus Vick was convicted of delinquency of a minor for an incident involving alcohol and underage girls. Then he's charged with reckless driving and possession of marijuana, leading Virginia Tech to suspend him for the entire 2004 season. After a second set of headlines, Marcus received a call from Michael, his older brother, an NFL superstar and former Hokie.
He just wanted to know what happened, and I told him that I was sorry for embarrassing our name and things like that, and I told him once I get back that, hey, I'm not gonna ever let him down.
Marcus moved into Michael's home in Atlanta, where he got a sense of the NFL lifestyle as well as some advice.
Just to slow down. I don't have to jump in my car at 9 o'clock in the morning and come back home at 3 o'clock in the a.m. You know, it's okay to stay in the house.
Teammates say Vick led summer drills and that he's finally relaxed. Now Virginia Tech ranks 3rd in the nation, and Vick says he's fueled by people's perception of him.
I truly do believe people do think he's going to mess up. He told us, hey, you know, I'm here to stay. I ain't going nowhere, so, and I believe it.
But some feared Marcus took a step back earlier this month when he gave hostile fans at West Virginia a middle finger salute. He quickly apologized.
Marcus out on the field, and he's cool and calm, but you know what I mean, you push the right button sometimes. He's a feisty guy at the same time.
Comparisons with Michael are unavoidable, and really compounded by the fact that the Falcons QB himself says Marcus is a better passer and player.
My brother's 10 times better than me. I just feel like he has uncanny ability, man. You know what I'm saying? And I'm very excited about it.
Vick is eligible for the NFL draft after this season, even though he's starting for the first time in 4 years. Now, Marcus makes his way to Michael Vick Hall, a constant reminder of who he is and how he wants to be remembered.
Just as a guy that, you know, got himself into trouble early and found a way to bounce back from it. He didn't let people keep him down. He got back up.
Joe Shad, thanks a lot. Let's compare the Vick brothers. You know, they're brothers and they're brothers. Right. In their first 8 starts, Marcus more passing yards, more touchdown passes. Michael, of course, more rushing yards and more rushing touchdowns. But the bottom line, and the most basic and most important bottom line, both Vicks started 8-0 in their first 8 starts.
Denver offensive lineman Dwayne Carswell is in critical but stable condition after he was involved in a 5-car accident this morning in suburban Denver. His injuries include a contusion of his entire left internal cavity, multiple rib fractures, a ruptured diaphragm, and a ruptured spleen. He underwent 5 hours of surgery that his head coach Mike Shanahan said, and I quote, went as well as it could possibly go, but but the man his teammates call House won't return this season. Said fellow lineman George Foster, "You just pray for the best. That's all that you can do now."
Still ahead, coming up inside SportsCenter, can the Georgia Bulldogs down the Gators for just the third time in the last 16 tries? Mark May reveals what they have to do to stay undefeated. The Eagles' D completely shut down LT last week. Will the Chiefs' improved defense have the same result this Sunday against the Bolts? Plus, baseball's big names looking to make big plans this offseason. Which major leaguers could be on the move and who could be ready to pack it in? SportsCenter rolling back in 60. Clock ticks.
There's a change taking place, a wave of self-expression, and it's being driven by people with a vision to live life, not by some rule book, but on their own terms. Star Motorcycles. We build it. You make it your own. Exclusively at your Yamaha dealer.
Prepare for the sequel to the best-selling Star Wars game of all time. Fight as a Jedi. Fight in space. Fight the battles any way you want. Star Wars Battlefront 2 on Tuesday. You fight again. Rated teen.
So it's Linda and Dean?
Right. And don't stare at Aunt Sue's mole.
I got it.
Sometimes what you need after your holiday vacation
Hi, Aunt Mole.
is a vacation. Book it on Expedia now and save $150 on a trip next year.
Expedia.com.
SportsCenter, brought to you by Star Motorcycles from Yamaha. We build it. You make it your own.
It is looking more and more like Tedy Bruschi will not only play this week against Buffalo, he might even be the starter. Chad Brown told the Boston Herald, "Today my job is to back up Tedy Bruschi." With Bill Belichick, you won't know for sure until Sunday. Mark Schlereth, if he plays, what's the impact of the return of number 54?
Tedy Bruschi is going to have an incredible impact for the New England Patriots this weekend, even if he doesn't get to play, even if he doesn't see the field. Now, I believe you'll see him in some nickel situations. I believe they'll sprinkle him in on some special team situations. But just having your emotional leader back on the football field is going to give everybody a spark. Tedy Bruschi and the way he plays a game transcends the team. Everybody has to rise up to Tedy Bruschi's level. He's going to be so energized and so enthusiastic on the sideline that he is going to have a very positive effect for this New England Patriots team. Look for them to take their leader's ambition and his desire and go out there and have a great game.
At first glance, the Patriots' remaining schedule looks awfully weak, but in the NFL, from week to week, what do you really know? They do have 7 games against teams currently under 500, including 6 within their division, which is woeful. However, among the 3 winning teams, you got the unbeaten Colts, tough road game as always at Arrowhead against the Chiefs, and a very strong Buccaneer team.
A ground ball past Jenks up the middle of the infield. Uribe has it. He throws. Out! Out! A White Sox winner and a world championship. The White Sox have won the World Series, and they're mobbing each other on the field.
This is as good as it gets. The Sox are world champions in Chicago. Go crazy.
Last time a Chicago baseball team had a parade for a world champion, I think Annie Oakley led the cavalry through State Street on Trigger's back. By bookending a season-opening 1-0 victory with the World Series Get Out the Broom Game 4 Sweep 'em Up 1-0 victory, the White Sox erased the curse of the Black Sox. Get ready, LaSalle Street downtown. Get ready, Jackson Street going down to Wacker. A double-decker motorcade is planned for tomorrow. Today, the world champ simply came home. Rachel Nichols was in the Windy City.
After decades of being the other team, the White Sox came back to town Thursday to find that Chicago, finally, was theirs. Sox hats, Sox flags, and fans lining up to grab anything that proved the team's first World Series win in 88 years wasn't just a dream.
It's been crazy. I haven't slept. I've been going to work, but I'm still here working and just watching the game and just really excited.
I've lived up in Alaska, Eagle River, Alaska, 29 years. As soon as I found out the Sox were going to be in this, I said, book me a ticket, I'm there.
Just seeing the morning headlines proved an elixir for Sox fans who've waited so long. And no one understands that better than team owner Jerry Reinsdorf. Before leaving Houston, Reinsdorf said the championship means Chicago Sox fans will be ridiculed no longer.
It means they're the champions. It means the Chicago White Sox fans of Chicago are champions of the world. It means that every other team in baseball has gone longer than we have since they won the World Series.
Red Sox, Yankees, and now it's our turn, and it's just great. It's just unbelievable. You know, it's been so long, and it's just awesome.
I was a Cubs fan since 1932. And that now. I'm a White Sox fan now. As about 3 weeks ago.
There were such defections in several spots around the city, including just a block from Wrigley Field, where they're now selling Sox merchandise.
I think it's pretty plastic. I don't think it's legit, and I think it's blasphemy as far as I'm concerned.
They won it. I mean, it doesn't get a lot better than that. Cubs haven't won it in 97 something years. I don't know. It's kind of hard to be a Cubs fan these days.
Of course, now that the White Sox and the Red Sox have dismissed the ghosts of their long-suffering past, it's Chicago's Cubs fans who stand alone, still dealing with nearly a century of angst. But the White Sox fans in this town don't seem so sympathetic. Just a day after winning the series, they're already talking about winning it again next year. In Chicago, I'm Rachel Nichols, ESPN.
Rachel, thank you. They say the White Sox played small ball, but really didn't make a whole lot of sense. Kids hit 200 balls out of the ballpark during the season. We can go back from the videotape of all 200 homers and see where the ball ended up. Not so easy, Agent 99, with the latest from World Series gate.
The ball's gone missing.
What?
The ball's missing, Stuart. And after last year's brouhaha involving the Red Sox and Doug Minkiewicz over exactly who the final out ball belonged to, we now have no clue where last night's ball even is, and now, like Leonard Nimoy, we go in search of, but not Sasquatch. In search of the ball. All right, here's what you got. You got Juan Uribe. Great play. Canerco's got the ball final out. We know the ball's in his glove, but from there,
Well, Special Agent Van Pelt, things aren't really clear. Theories abound, like Canerco at the mound during the celebration. You see him, right?
Okay, well, watch closely. It's possible he could have handed the ball to Dustin Hermanson during the chaos. Watch Hermanson back away from embracing Canerco. Hermanson's hands hidden from view, possibly holding the baseball.
But Inspector Van Pelt, more evidence moments later, an extreme close-up of Canerco's glove. There is no ball, Inspector, no ball.
Maybe Canerco did keep it. Look behind Jermaine Dye, this extreme close-up. There's a white blob in Canerco's glove, Stuart, a white blob.
But it's just a blob. Look at Ozzie again. He may be saying, look, there's the ball right there. Or maybe saying what's up to his peeps.
We ask you, because clearly we had nothing better to do all day but think about really relevant things like this. Where's the baseball from the last out of the World Series? And there are these selections. Al Capone's vault, Steve Bartman's house. It says Wiener House. It's Wiener Circle. Wiener Circle in Chicago. Wiener Circle. Cheddar Char Dogs, or Doug Minkiewicz has it. Log on. What do you think?
I think it's in Bartman's Walkman. That's what I think.
It's in Wiener Circle. That's what I think.
Final winless team in the NHL, the Mario Lemieux and Sidney Crosby-led Penguins against the Thrashers. Only winless team in the NHL. First period. Penguins already down 3-0. Thrashers power tripping Ilya Kovalchuk to Nicholas Havlat, who lights the lamp. Thrashers up 4-0. Last comeback from a 4-goal deficit, December 7th, 1995, a decade ago. Under 30 seconds left, Penguins down 4-1. Mario Lemieux rocked kids to sleep. He'd have a 5-point night, 2 goals, 3 assists. Second period, Penguins down 4-2 on the power play. Sergei Gonchar, slapper from Recchi. Penguins now trail 4-3. Atlanta becomes the 4th team in NHL history to use 5 different starting goalies in a 10-game span. And then Sidney Crosby to Sergei Gonchar, his second of the night. Gonchar's 18th career multi-goal game. We're tied at 4. 31 seconds later, Penguins power tripping. LeClaire, holla at your boy. Penguins tied a franchise record with 6 power play goals. They finally get a W. Penguins win it 7-5. Mario Lemieux with those 2 goals and 3 assists Thursday had his 51st career 5-point game. That trails only the brother named Gretzky, but is 32 more than Phil Esposito, who is 3rd in this list.
Stuart, the Red Wings were not supposed to be quite so good this year. Well, they're 9-1.
That's
Steve
good.
Yzerman, first home game, taking on the Blackhawks from Chicago, home of Wiener Circle. Manny Legacy cannot be beaten. 2 huge saves on Curtis Brown, trying to become the first goalie to win 10 games in October. Late in the third, Red Wings up 3-2. Yzerman dumps it in. And it's Khabibulin, otherwise known as Khabibulin. What is he going to do? I mean, it just took a kooky bounce there. Chris Draper, Johnny on the spot. One more look. Khabibulin, it just takes the bounce sideways. That's just bad luck. And there comes Draper flying in. Red Wings going to win at 5-2. Legacy, like I said, NHL record. Most wins in the month of 10 with 10.
Still up, Virginia Tech has survived, but can them kids remain undefeated? Can the remaining unbeatens make it through this Saturday's test? Up next, the roads they face. And as they face off on Sunday, which QB would you choose to lead your team the rest of this season? Future Hall of Famer Brett Favre or Carson Palmer? Our expert reveals his choice.
Breakdown brought to you by McDonald's.
Tomorrow, if it's adventure you're looking for, if it's fun you're asking for, he's the one man, Zorro, you've been waiting for. Gracias. The Legend of Zorro, rated PG, opens everywhere tomorrow.
Applebee's new Italian style is here.
Hey, Mambo! Mambo Italiano, you must go. Cause something tasty's going on. Oh, Applebee's will thrill you with some food right off the grill.
With so much Italian flavor, Applebee's Italian style will make your taste buds dance.
Hey, Mambo! Mambo Italiano, don't be slow. Cause soon it will be gone. New Italian dishes that are Applebee's delicious.
Eating good in the neighborhood.
There are always new races to be run, new challenges to be met. But success still comes from having a plan and the courage to follow it. And it's easier to reach your goals when you have talented people on your side. These principles are the keys to investment performance, today and tomorrow. Oppenheimer Funds, the right way to invest.
Carefully consider fund investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses. Call your advisor for a prospectus with this and other fund information. Read it carefully before.
Ever feel like your entertainment choices are a little empty? Start filling that entertainment void with Stars from Dish Network. When you order Stars, you get 8 movie channels featuring over 350 different movies each month, which means no matter what mood you're in, no matter what time it is, you'll always find a great movie on Stars. Let's say you're in the mood for an action flick. Or maybe somebody at your house loves a romance. Or it's time to keep the kids entertained. If you have Stars, everybody's happy. There's always something good on Stars. We're talking all-time favorites, as well as box office hits that are only available on Stars. Movies like The Aviator, Hitch, The Incredibles, National Treasure, and The Pacifier. So get rid of that empty feeling. Order Stars and complete your entertainment experience. Visit DishNetwork.com. Call 888-DISH-130 or simply pick up your remote and press select now to order Stars.
You are watching SportsCenter on ESPN.
Virginia Tech's 11-1 on Thursday night. The only team that ever beat him, Boston College. Marcus Vick didn't play for him then. They're up 6. And Will Blackman deep, and he catches the Quentin Porter pass. That beats Jimmy Williams. This is a super, super defensive back for Virginia Tech. He talks a whole lot, and when he gets beat, you know somebody's talking to him. That was all BC had to talk about. Here comes Eddie Royal, good receiver. Only had 2 catches in the game, but he does take it to the paint. Gobblers up 6, Hokie high. Next drive, 3rd and 10. Vick finds Josh Hyman, who had 5 grabs, 58 yards, makes a super catch right there. Later in the drive, they're on the 26, and Vick, who used his feet to beat Maryland a week ago on the ground. Here he takes off for 15 yards, and his brother, who was pretty good at Virginia Tech, looking on. Next play, Vick. Maryland coach told me he's like a running back who throws sometimes. Well, this time he ran. Next play.
Brother says he's a better passer than he is.
So that's pretty high praise. 22-28 was Vick, finds Josh Morgan. And Mom says, that's my baby.
Who that is?
That's my baby.
My baby.
20-7. 3rd quarter, Hokies lead 20-10. And Vick, who threw for a career-high 280. This is just for fun. He throws to John Kinzer. And look at Big Boy. Big Boy, 6'2", 245. Take one more look as he goes. Ronaldo Skeets Nehemiah and does the hurdles. Tech's up 13 in the 4th quarter. They are pulling it away. The nation's #1 leading defense. They only give up 9 points a game, already given up 1 over their average. They decide that's enough of this, and this is a really ill-advised play. Vince Hall with a pick. Virginia Tech is all that and the proverbial bag of chips. They stay unbeaten. As for the other unbeatens, top-ranked USC looks to extend its winning streak to 30. Vegas doesn't think they'll have a problem with that. They're favored by 30. That's against Washington State on ABC, 3:30. Texas favored by more than 5 touchdowns. Maybe the cocktail party is the biggest question mark. That's where Georgia has to figure out a way to stay unbeaten with their backup quarterback, Mark May. Will they do it?
Yes, Georgia will survive on Saturday and beat Florida. The reason why is because of head coach Mark Richt. He'll make sure that his quarterback, Joe Tereshinski, is put in a position to manage the game offensively and win the game for Georgia. Not a lot of pressure on him to throw the ball and have to win the game. He'll rely on his big offensive line of Max Gene Gillis and Danny Ware and Thomas Brown at the running back position to control the clock and keep the ball away from Florida.
The Gators defeated then 4th-ranked Tennessee September the 17th. If they beat number 4 Georgia on Saturday, Urban Meyer will become the 4th head coach in Florida history to defeat 2 ranked opponents in his first season. Ron Zook and Galen Hall also beat a ranked Georgia team for their 2nd win.
Bad news for Grant Hill. He will undergo surgery for a sports hernia, miss 3 to 6 weeks. Hill played in 67 games last season, returned to that all-star form, averaging better than 19 points, 4 boards, and 3 assists a night. Grant's Magic hosting the Heat in some NBA preseason action. It's all right. His wife, singer, Tamia, will take care of. She's Canadian.
You can take care of me.
Jason Williams, white chocolate to Shaq, dark chocolate. The darker the berry, the sweeter the juice. Shaq gonna get his with Jay Will. Hedo Turkoglu will be Grant Hill's replacement. Steve Francis misses the late. Turkoglu grabs a rebound and floats up for 2. He had 14 in the game, but yo, the Miami Heat are straight strong, y'all. I didn't say strong
with a C.
I said strong. Jay Will to Dwayne Wade for the rock. Jay Will at 8 dimes, 2nd quarter. Alonzo gets the feed from Jason Capono. Big swole Alonzo, 11 points, 12 rebounds. Heat, 104-90. Remember back in the days of Greg Kite and Ronnie Cycli? Heat Magic?
Game of immense significance. There's Avery Johnson, which we love Avery for so many reasons. Darko Milicic. Darko with the block. Darko running, scoring, 6 blocks, and he's got that bucket. Pistons up 7. 2nd quarter, 3 to go. Arroyo drives, blocked by Dirk Nowitzki, and things get heated. They start talking. Arroyo, who's about 5'0", and Sagana Diop, who's about 9'4". They start lipping. Arroyo eventually gets tossed. 4th quarter, give me all 3 of these. Keith Van Horn.
If I get to the ball outside the off, you got to shoot the ball.
By 6. Thank you, Stuart. John Vandevelde, who very nearly won the British Open at Carnoustie in 1999, hopes to win the British Open next year at Lytham and St. Anne's. Talking about the Women's British Open. It's his way of protesting the R&A's decision to allow women who finish in the top 5 of any women's major to attempt to qualify for the Men's Open Championship. Said Trish Johnson, a women's player who's played on 6 Solheim Cup teams. John is going to struggle to enter a women's event because he isn't a woman. You have to be a woman to play there. See, here's what John has to say. I'm making a point myself. Aren't the rules the same for everyone? It cannot work only one way. It's a nice joke that women are to be in the Open, but now that we have to be allowed to, now that we have allowed them, to play with us, we must be allowed to play with them. I'm happy to use the ladies' locker room. If that's a requirement, I'll also wear a kilt and shave my legs. That's actually a bit horrifying.
Still up, Eli Manning has led the Giants offense leading the NFL in scoring. Oh, yeah. While the second-year QB's newfound confidence has his receivers fighting to get some attention. And is it the end of the line for 2 of baseball's biggest names? Are Roger Clemens and Sammy Sosa on the verge of retiring? Our experts weigh in with their look at the upcoming stovetop.
Find out what it feels like when the job you're looking for finds you. Employers search Monster every day. So post your resume and let employers find you.
Buy House of Wax on DVD.
You're not going to go in, are you?
In the House of Wax, it's not what you see that will scare you. It's what you don't see.
Help! Please, somebody!
House of Wax. Buy it now on DVD.
The new, intimidating Mitsubishi Raider. Available 230 horse V8 and the most towing capacity in its class. Mitsubishi, driven to thrill. And right now, there's only one truck where gas comes standard. Get a 2006 Raider and get a year's worth of gas on us.
Away, down big with only 20 seconds left. T-Mac hits a foul shot.
No, it was home. 15 seconds left.
Away, man.
All right. T-Mac hits the foul shot.
Pop.
Then he gets the ball back, and they double him.
No, they triple him.
But he cuts through them.
Dunks.
And grabs a stack of quarters off the backboard.
Clock is ticking. He steals the inbound and goes sideline.
They try to stop him, but he's on fire. Gets to the arc, turns, drains it. It starts raining.
Not yet, it doesn't.
Seconds left. They bring it up. T-Mac rips the guard.
Like an animal. 3 seconds left. He heads up court.
The whole stadium's against him. They try everything.
He needs a 3, though. He needs a 3.
But T-Mac rises above it.
Elevates.
Shoots. Left-handed.
Bam! Then it starts raining.
Yeah. That's what happened.
This is as real as it gets. From the people who bring you Discovery Channel, introducing the Military Channel. Go behind the lines.
Upgrade to America's Top 180 today and receive a free Military Channel fleece blanket. Call 1-866-296-6226 or visit dishnetwork.com/military channel.
Let's talk movies. You want them, Stars has them, and not just a few movies either. Try over 350 different movies each month. Imagine choosing from this many movies on Stars. And that's what's on just this month alone. All for less than $12 a month. Plus, Stars has exclusive movies you can't see anywhere else. If you love movies, and I know you do, call now to get Stars. Go to dishnetwork.com, call 888-DISH-130, or simply pick up your remote and press select now to order Stars.
Prior to last week, Pro Bowl linebacker Lavar Arrington had not seen much action. Arrington was, as he said, quote, in the coach's doghouse. Against the Niners, he led the team in tackles. He's killing kids. Michael Irvin sat down with Arrington earlier tonight.
Why were you benched?
I guess I'm not good enough to play, man.
How do you fit in his scheme?
Well, right now I fit in the package that has been put together for me. And that's where I fit in. So I'm like the 12th man, you know how basketball has the 6th man of the year. I'm like the 12th man, trying to be the 12th man of the year in the NFL.
On Sunday, 11 a.m. Eastern on ESPN, you can see the entire Irvin interview with Arrington on NFL Countdown. You will not want to miss that. Promise you that. Sunday morning, 11 a.m. Eastern on ESPN.
Those were the days, and together they are leading the resurrection of the once proud NFC East, the only division in football currently made up entirely of teams over 500. People somehow forget that from 87 to 92, the Redskins and Giants combined to win 4 of the 6 Super Bowls played. Now, back then, Coach Joe and the Skins were more concerned with figuring out how to stop number 56. As Colleen Dominguez explains, this week they must scheme to stop number 10 and Big Blue's big offense.
Long known for their defense, the New York Giants are now getting it done with a potent offense, leading the league in scoring.
It's fun. I mean, it's kind of strange, though. You know, sometimes you got to pinch yourself because, you know, we're doing so much on offense and, you know, spreading the ball around. You know, it's happened a few times around here, but I think this one, I think this offense is going to be good for a long time.
It's great. It's great for those guys to be able to score points and do things that, you know, in the past we probably couldn't count on for us to win. So it's actually a nice change of pace, and, you know, I welcome it.
We're putting pressure on ourselves to live up to that now, you know, and people are putting that expectation on us that, you know, we're scoring points. And, you know, now the test is, now that everybody knows that we're scoring points, can we still do it even though they're trying to stop us?
In his second season, Eli Manning has made this offense his own, and with each snap, he's got plenty of options, creating a newfound confidence.
I think everybody's more comfortable with this offense. A lot of people in their second year, just the offensive line, just communicating better, doing a good job of blocking things. receivers have a better feel of the offense. I'm more comfortable, and everybody's making plays when they have opportunities to.
When I stand in the huddle and I look around, I feel like I'm in a Pro Bowl huddle. I think defenses get nervous when they see all that talent. You can't double cover, you can't double guard anybody, and somebody's going to be open.
We like to think that that's our weapon. That's our advantage that we have to make defenses guess.
Because there are so many options, Amani Toomer says there is competition. Everybody wants to get his catches and show what they can do. But he says it's a healthy competition. With the Giants, Colleen Dominguez, ESPN.
People question why the Giants threw Eli out there to the Wolves last year. It didn't look like much then, but that on-the-job training is paying off this year in a huge way. 3 times the touchdowns and 2 times the passer rating, with a huge game in the Meadowlands this weekend against the Redskins.
The bad is he has to cover me. The good is he can save 10% by switching insurance to Geico.
This Sunday, it'll be Al Harris's turn to cover number 85. And even Chad Johnson admits he may be the best DB he faces all season ahead. Will Harris be getting the last laugh? And have we seen the end of Johnny Damon, his hair, and Manny Ramirez in Red Sox world? And will the last of the big three, Barry Zito, head out of Oakland? We look ahead to baseball's offseason next.
Hello, friend. You don't need to own music to discover music, to love music, to share music. 1.5 million songs, unlimited access. Own nothing, have everything. Join us.
Hey, Teddy, I hate them. Decaf!
$12.
Great shift today, guys. Nice salad bar.
Your favorite players.
Yes.
Priceless.
Yes. Yes!
There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard.
You signed the bread to my little brother. He loves you.
The new Walter Hagen AWS. You get a titanium head that's the biggest of any adjustable weight driver, an ultra-thin plasma weld face, and more. Like more distance and more control than ever. Available now at Dick's Sporting Goods.
Start the day with a splash. Bring on the blue. Moving to the horizon. Splash. Bring on the blue. Now you're flying again. Fast,
It just feels better with an Aqua Velva man. Introducing Aqua Velva Ice Balm Aftershave. Alcohol-free, vitamin-infused. Skincare from A to V.
We're going upriver to the ship of death.
Great!
Adventure has a new destination.
You got 72 hours.
Sahara, now on pay-per-view.
The treasure is still buried right here.
Take a look at this!
And go on a wild journey to the unknown.
Oh my God.
Without ever leaving your home. Sahara, rated PG-13, now on pay-per-view.
It's time to call in the cavalry.
Check your on-screen guide for start times.
Only the 5th time in the history of Major League Baseball that consecutive World Series end in sweeps. Red Sox last year, White Sox do the celebrating this season. Who will be celebrating next year? For that, we have a discussion with Peter about free agents, and obviously one of the guys on the White Sox is probably the biggest name out there.
Well, Paul Konerko, like Travis Hafner and David Ortiz, he's a guy that's completely filled in his holes. He's on the upside of his career. He's going to make a ton of money because he's a power hitter in a very thin market, but I think he's going to end up going back to the White Sox. But when it comes to Johnny Damon, I'm not so sure he will go back to Boston. They'll offer him a 4-year deal, but how much money? They're really a little bit worried that is this guy, even though he's a prime leadoff guy, is he going to end up a Bernie Williams at the age of 35? Billy Wedding, the next one is the same team. Philadelphia's going to have to spend some money and take some of the contract back to send him over to the American League. But I think Tomey gets traded. Cleveland's a possibility because I know he would love to go back there. And the other big trade name, Barry Zito. The A's don't really want to trade him. He's going to be a free agent at the end of the year. He's going to test the market. I would not be surprised at all if he went to the New York Mets for a deal for Lastings Village and Aaron Heilman.
Amazing. 3 potential Hall of Famers. The way their seasons ended, Bonds, Palmeiro, Clemens. You wonder who of that group is going to retire, or other guys.
Well, I think the most likely guy to come back is Roger Clemens. And that's not even a certainty. We don't know about that. But I think Roger will probably come back. Barry's got another year. I think the 2 interesting cases are going to be Sammy Sosa and Rafael Palmeiro. My guess is that Sammy gets a job somewhere at a lot less money and Rafael Palmeiro retires and goes in peace.
Next 72 hours may be critical to Major League Baseball, the association, Congress with regards to steroids. The pressure is just going to be turned way up on the association, isn't it?
It is, because Congress is saying, okay, you know, if you don't get some agreement, then we're going to enact law which first-time offenders get 2-year ban from baseball. Well, you know, no one wants that. The commissioner's office doesn't want it. The Players Association doesn't want it. There's a lot of pressure. And just don't forget that one of the sponsors of this bill, Senator Jim Bunning from Kentucky, is the man who found Marvin Miller and is one of the most important people in baseball history. He knows the kind of pressure he can exercise. I think there'll be a compromise.
You're talking 50, 100, then out, maybe 40, 80, then out. All right, 3 teams to watch for, my friend, next year.
Well, obviously, you got to have the high payroll Yankees. You're going to look at them and see what they do. It's interesting with what's going on there. Brian Cashman will be back. We all know about the pitching problems, and the game continues to go through New York and Boston. The other team I find real interesting is the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. They're loaded with a ton of young talent. You can trade, you can build from. They need a general manager, and they need a manager, and they're going to head in a new direction. The only problem is they're in the wrong division in baseball. There won't be a whole lot of titles coming that way. And then the third thing I would look at in the American League is the champion White Sox. What's going to happen with Konerko, the direction that they're going in. The wild card to me is making trades and making acquisitions before anybody else thinks about it. In the National League, the first thing I want to look at with the National League is the Brewers, loaded with young talent. They're very close to really turning this whole franchise around. They spent a little heading to the postseason next year. The other club I'm looking at is the Pirates, believe it or not. Another club, a lot of young. It allows every
it is to get to the World Series or win it this year. And it ends up being a Chicago celebration. Putting a wrap on it, we're not far off from spring training. Coverage, of course, continues all winter long.
Well, you might have noticed Larry Bowa wasn't there. He doesn't work for us anymore. Larry Bowa has accepted the Yankees' offer to become the third base coach. Bowa previously served as skipper of the Pods and Phils. He's also served as a third base coach for the Phillies, the Angels, and the Mariners. Go get him, Larry. We'll miss you.
Maybe NBA Commissioner David Stern put it best when asked what he would say if an active NBA superstar ever did what Sheryl Swoopes did, open up about his homosexuality. Stern said, quote, "How many points, how many rebounds?" Meaning, doesn't really matter. A day after coming out, Swoopes, the only 3-time MVP in WNBA history, explained her decision on ESPN2's Cold Pizza.
Me now coming out and showing people this is who I really am, and letting people know who I really care about, and being able to show my affection. You know, it's not accepted in the world. It's not accepted in society. But I'm okay with it. And I hope that, you know, it's not going to be an issue, but unfortunately it probably will. But I don't know. I always try to think the worst, and then the worst not happen, and then only good things come out of it. But you know, I think I'm very prepared for it.
Swoopes worries that her mother will never fully accept it, even though her mother is known for about 5 years. And she's nervous about the reaction in her hometown of Brownfield, Texas. Sheryl Swoopes, mother of an 8-year-old son, Jordan, from a previous marriage. As you heard her say, she also opened up because she wants to be able to openly care about her partner, former Houston Comets assistant coach she is now living with. Donovan McNabb passing the ball 54 times last week, but what's the over-under on the Eagles' air attack reaching the 50 attempt mark this week in Denver?